You want to go ahead?
I think so.
Okay. That'll be an interesting thing to watch. All right. So we're gonna call the meeting to order, and, if anyone, just let me know if you have any agenda changes. Everything all set? Otherwise, sorry for the lack of video on screen, but we are gonna move ahead with, since our audio is okay. So the first, item on the agenda is the lister errors and omissions, and John and Toby are here.
Everything's okay now.
Everything's okay now.
All the
Okay,
errors and omissions have been fixed. There were two errors, and there was one, data loose state declaration.
okay,
And so those are changes to the grand list.
okay. Great. And do we have any questions for Steve, Jamie, about these?
Are those forms that we have to sign off on or not?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a form here.
Right.
And what it does is it decreases the grand list value by about 40 grand.
Or you add them up?
One of them didn't have an impact.
One of them was up, one of them was down.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
Only if you have a question.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable with be back with the same ones again.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So we need to approve this before we sign it, kind of, right? Okay, so, can I get a motion to approve the errors and omissions report?
So moved.
Can we get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, that is done.
Great.
Great, thank you very much. Appreciate it. The next item is the Adamant Community Trust. And Liz, I think you're on to chat with us about that.
Yeah, I can chat about that. So, Skipper and I are both part of this group. What do you have questions that you want me to answer, or do you just want like a brief overview of what this is all about?
I think the overview would be helpful. We do have, a background email that folks, I believe, have had a chance to look at. So yeah, background would be helpful. Sort of
Sure.
where, yep.
Um, so so Adamant came across the Village Initiative Trust, and Skipper, you can feel free to jump into whenever you've got other things to say. When we were initially looking for more funding for our barn, which we're renovating right now, and um, to back up a little bit, we had started a few years ago in the Village of Adamant talking about, do we want to create a trust? Because the music school owns most of the property in Adamant. And we were worried, like, what if the music school goes under? Then what happens? Do they sell it to just a private investor? You know, what if the town can come up with a way to have an envelope of funds that we can then use to purchase parts of the music school? Should that be a thing that needs doing? And then that conversation kind of ended. So we've started to pick up this conversation about starting a village community trust when we started looking at our barn and the infrastructure needs that it has. And the Village Initiative Trust, or the Village Trust Initiative, is a program. It's a multi-year program that is offered through, I think it's through the Vermont Historical Preservation people. And they they offer, if a town is selected, they offer um, educational activities and sources of funding and a lot of like brainstorming to help a village come up with projects that could feed into a trust. Sorry, it's been a long day. I'm kind of losing my words. Skipper, do you want to jump in?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sarai also.
Yeah.
Sorry to confuse everyone. Um, uh, there's a group of us that just have been talking since we started renovating the barn, and we're excited to continue developing the the Adamant Community Arts um, Center, which was started a while ago, but bringing it into life more, to just be a place to receive funding and to apply for grants. And yeah, we just have infrastructure needs, like Liz said.
Mhm.
You know, the co-op needs some handiwork and some funding to come up to speed.
Right. And I think too, it's about the co-op and the barn, but it's also about the future of Adamant, really, as a viable village, because the village really is owned mostly by one landowner. And so it's a little complicated in that it's a group of us from the co-op who are interested in following up with the Village Trust Initiative, but it's not just for the co-op. It's sort of blossomed from the co-op into more of a community-wide discussion. And
Mhm.
the reason we reached out to you all as the select board is that one of the criteria for applying is a letter from you guys saying that, yes, we think it would be a good idea if Adamant were awarded this opportunity.
Okay, and yeah, and I think one of the things that stopped us and made us want to come and, hear more from you was the letter states, after reviewing the project details and the Village Trust Initiative program details, we strongly support your, right? So we felt like we didn't have the information on what your intention was, what the idea is, and sort of what alignment with this, and another friendly amendment, the Village Trust Initiative is a initiative of the Preservation Trust of Vermont, but with VCRD. They do with Vermont,
And the Vermont Community Foundation.
right, so there's a whole collaboration there that happens.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, the question around the project details is what I'm still a little bit stuck on.
Hmm. Yeah, well, it's a good question because it sort of spans, like it stemmed out of this idea of where can the co-op get more funding to complete our barn restoration project. And
Uh-huh.
then when we found this opportunity, the group of us who've been meeting started revisiting this idea of starting a community trust, an Adamant community trust, not just for securing funding for a barn, because the co-op itself is not a nonprofit, so we can't accept donations and have the donors have tax write-offs. Like we can't do that, so we can't, and that means also we can't accept grants really for anything to do with the co-op. So the co-op started wondering how we could partner with this a currently existing 501c3 within the community of Adamant called the Adamant Community Arts Center, which is inactive. It exists, but it's inactive. Um, so the idea that we're having right now is to turn, well, the acronym is called ACAC for Adamant Community Arts Center, is to turn ACAC as a 501c3 um, into the envelope that could accept funds and education as a trust,
Mhm.
as a village trust. And so
Okay.
it really expands this vision of, like, the co-op is the community hub of Adamant, but there's also the community center of Adamant. There's also all the music school possibilities. It feels like it's a really important time to think about, like, this extended future of Adamant and what that might look like in the next 20 or 25 years. And then to also really, if we are awarded this opportunity, to really come together as a community and not just as the co-op, but invite all community members in Adamant to really envision and work towards what we collectively want the village of Adamant to look like in 25 years or 20 years.
Mhm. What other questions do we have?
What's the timeline for the application? When do you need a letter from us?
The application's due September 8th.
Yeah.
So is there a written description of what you're proposing that we can take a look at?
Yeah, do you have the proposal? Is there a proposal for this process?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of application questions that we've had to
Mhm.
answer
Okay,
that we could, if you're interested, we could send them the questions and our answers along to you.
yeah, we don't have that, correct?
No,
I haven't seen that, no, just so you know.
No, we're working on it.
Yeah, I guess that would be, I would wanna see that, but we're not gonna meet before the 8th. Are we?
I mean, I don't see
There's nothing, there's no.
any doubt, no. But I don't see any downside. You know, it's like sometimes there can be unforeseen consequences of being designated a historic village or something, and then
Right,
it changes things.
would it help to temper the language of the letter a little bit to say, that you-
yeah,
not that you've reviewed all the details of the proposal, but
Yeah.
that you
That's a good
support it in
idea.
spirit.
yes, I think that's actually where I was headed, for sure, Kari, the letter's just a little more, of a statement than we're probably ready to make, since we haven't seen the details and, you know, that whole piece, so. Do we wanna do some editing while we're sitting here?
No.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I feel
During
like,
a break, I could edit it and have you look at it before we leave tonight.
I also
Okay.
feel like we could just take out the first half of that sentence,
Oh.
and just say, we strongly support this group advancing this project.
yeah, or just take out strongly, yeah. We support Blackburn advancing this project. I don't know that the project identified by this group aligns with our town's goals. That's another place where, I mean, it probably does, but. You know, I just wanna be. Anyway, I think, Kari, your suggestion is correct, that if we do some, editing to the language, that we'd be able to submit this to you all back before the 8th, so that you could submit your application on time. Is that, or do I have an agreement with? Yeah, the board members on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so. We could approve the letter with, edits, expected edits, or do we approve it later? All right,
So I was just checking to make sure I have an editable version. And seems like I do. So what I got was, removing the phrase about have reviewed the plan project details
yeah,
and remove the word strongly. From support. Is that? Petra?
Well, we also have,
Oh, the town goals.
yeah,
what is the role, I mean, it says the select board is committed to collaborating with the project team and support its successful implementation, so is there an expectation of further involvement if you were to be selected for this by the select board?
I
Not
don't
that I
think
know
there's
of.
necessarily any any other further collaboration with the select board. Honestly, it was a template letter that
Yeah,
the VTI gave to us to
yeah,
pass on to you guys. Which we did amend a little bit because there was even stronger language. We felt like, well, we don't need to really go that far. But
right,
honestly, I don't foresee really the select board having much to do, at least, if we are selected, at least in the early stages, in this project.
okay. Now I understand why, I mean, okay, so, I think it's much more like the select board looks forward to collaborating, should it be awarded, uh,
I like that.
right? So I think there's just a couple of places where, so that first paragraph, I think we're clear, the second paragraph, I don't think the first sentence, I think we should take out the first sentence, because I'm not sure. It's not that it isn't aligned with our goals, but I'm not sure how we.
we haven't seen it,
Yeah,
I don't have sufficient
I
information.
mean, at this stage, sort of, the project is the creation of the trust.
Mm-hmm.
And then the trust, as it evolves over time, can grow, and assume it would have a board or something that would decide how, sort of what separate projects the trust takes on. Is that like a reasonable understanding?
Yes, I would say that that's a reasonable understanding.
this is,
Because
I
I
mean,
think
this
the
is,
idea of like
It's-
creating a community trust is a fabulous idea.
I agree with you. I just don't want a letter to indicate that we're in lockstep with this and ready to commit resources or imply that.
Right.
And I think, there's been, this, like, this is what Greensboro did. This is like, there's precedent.
Mhm.
I'm not sure, I'm not as familiar with one at the, a village level, but I'm sure that's what they're providing technical assistance and funding and support to create a 501(c)(3). So, yeah, so I guess, yeah, so if you don't have any other edits, that's what I would suggest is what we suggested already for paragraph 1, paragraph 2, maybe just delete the first sentence and just say we believe it, and then just say the select board, looks forward to collaborating with the project team if it's successful, and I think the last paragraph's fine.
You're
What
good
is-
with the collaborating sentence?
I would say the select board looks forward to collaborating with the project team and supporting its successful implementation.
Got it.
Others, thoughts?
That sounds good.
Thanks while we work through this. Appreciate your patience. I think what we'll do is approve this with the edits discussed.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the letter to the Village Trust Initiative in support of the Adamant Community Trust
So
with edits as identified? Sorry.
edits as a.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right, I think we're good, folks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck with it. Let us know what happens.
Okay, thanks so much. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, 6:20 on the nose. All right, we've got 2 curb cut applications. The first is for Ledge Hill Road. Has the board, go ahead.
Lori Connolly is here. Kellis's news people, and she and Tom, her husband, have already applied for and received 1 curb cut permit. Now they're going for the second one, which will be towards the east side of Ledge Hill Road for a home they plan to build in a little while. But go ahead, Lori.
there.
Oh, very nice to meet you. And so John and I, Ben, took a look, and meets the specification, so we'll need a culvert at least.
And was that an issue at all, the culvert?
No, the only issue is installation. The road crew installed the first curb cut, driveway culvert, and they're not probably gonna be available for a little while, so, but we're aware.
And that's not a,
Yeah, we're trying to figure out timing in that anyway, so, the issue with the curb cut that's there now, the culvert that's there now is an old stone one.
right,
So we can't really bring any heavy equipment over it right now, so we're just trying to figure out, we're meeting with a logging truck to see, can they come over it or not, if not, then we can't log until we get the new culvert.
okay,
So we'll basically just kind of keep doing what we're doing, until we can either find somebody to put a new culvert in, or if it's late in the fall and they can do it, then we'll do it then.
Okay. All right. Have you all had a chance to look at this? And-
Yeah, just a quick question, there were
Sure.
two applications, one was an original and one was, was it different or? In,
They've only done one application, then.
You mean it's labeled original layout
yeah,
versus what is the other version?
There's a sketch drawing that we snuck into your box, but I thought it was a little small, so then we put the bigger picture
Oh, okay.
with it, so it's.
Oh, in the application,
Picture
yeah.
In the application,
Okay.
but the box, the wording might have been a little too small for you, so
got
I.
it, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, you're right.
Trying to fit in that box.
Yes.
Got it. So there is no change to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And does the existing culvert that needs to get pulled out, is that's not in the same location of where the culvert needs to be?
It is.
It is, okay.
Yeah, so the curb cut, from talking to John and the crew, they were suggesting a 30-foot curb, culvert. In order to put that in, the old stone one would have to be removed, because it would hit up into that anyway.
Okay,
So there's a telephone pole and there's a culvert that goes across Ledge Hill.
yep,
So we can't go further down, so starting at where that culvert comes across Ledge, going 30 feet in, gets you kind of where the old stone one is, so the idea would be to remove the stone one
mhm,
and put a new 30-foot across.
okay, and do we understand that the removal of the old one is on the owners?
Yep.
Right, and that coordination will happen with the road crew if they can put in the new one?
If we end up doing the work, yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah, to be determined.
okay,
We've talked to Kari and group, and nobody thinks it's historical or anything else. I remember when they put it in, we asked those questions just to make sure, so it was put in back when they opened up Ledge Hill to the north side. And closed the old little T section that was there, we'll put in for that.
okay. Great, well, I don't have any other questions. Do other members of the board have? Christie or Jamie?
Yeah.
No. Great. I think, we would be moving to approve. I don't wanna read into, Christie, are we moving to approve? Yes. So, I need a motion to approve, the application for the 00 Ledge Hill Road curb cut. We have a motion.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, that passes, so that's all set. Thank you. Always glad to have people moving in and building homes, so thank you for doing that, appreciate it.
We've got one more coming in a couple of months. Another curve cut.
We look forward to seeing you. Great, so the other one is for the Maple Corner Community Store, and so that means that we're gonna have discussion, but Jamie will be recusing herself from the, any vote, which we might have to delay. So we'll have to, let's talk about that,
Yeah,
since,
Do you have a better sense? Well, last I heard, we haven't heard from Hans when he's available. Except that it's supposed to be soon. We don't meet again for 3 weeks. Which puts us
14.
September 14th.
Without your vote, there's no wrong.
Right, we have 2 people out tonight is the issue.
I mean, what I was gonna say before is that if we had, we can have discussion and then, we'd have to table it, and not vote, but if it became an issue for you all timing wise, that we would maybe have a
In a special meeting,
special meeting online.
yeah.
I mean, that would be the option.
Right.
You can't really, there's not really another way around it. given our
It's a
schedule.
48-hour thing,
Right.
and it will take us just a matter of
5
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like a reasonable backup if you need it.
Reasonable if he ends up needing to do the work sooner than 3 weeks.
So, I don't know if, I didn't hear any, questions passed along from Jordan on this application,
Right.
and I think it was discussed fairly well in a couple of meetings ago when I was not here,
Right.
but is there anything you want to add to the, in your general manager role to the application?
I don't think necessarily. I mean, this feels like it's sort of the one place on our property that we can, or the 2 ways on our property that we can add parking.
Mhm.
And so, like the next logical step.
Can you help me understand, the extended, I understand the slots that are going against the grassy area.
Yeah,
The extended, removing the place where the old gas tank was.
yeah.
How does that end up helping?
Well,
Help me understand how you're gonna manage that, you know what I mean, to generate more parking.
it's a good question, and some of it will be trial and error. But what happens now, 5 years ago, there were very visible curves across a stretch,
Yeah,
almost, I don't know if I put it in here, but 25 plus
mm,
feet long and maybe 10 feet wide. And that was all grass inside granite curves. And nobody parked in that area. And then over the last, I don't know what, 5, 10 years, people have naturally been driving, or the curbs have been sinking, and cars have been driving onto the grass naturally.
and no flowers have been planted.
Right, and no flowers have been planted, and now what we find is it's just kind of a hazard.
Mhm.
People park with their tire up on the cement thing in the middle, and people trip on the curbs that are still sticking up out of the driveway. So I think beyond the added parking, removing that whole thing is a benefit to the safety of the parking lot. I think it's still a little bit of a question, when you have that long of a stretch, how you delineate parking lot from road edge.
Right.
Right, and I think the road's got some curve to it and the parking lot's got some curve to it, so I think you can grade it in such a way that there's a little bit of a drainage swale that's a visible line between the two. That probably just has to be, maintained every couple of years and regraded, resurfaced or shaped.
Mhm.
We bought some, the sort of 3 or 4 foot orange, not cones, but posts with a heavy water base, with ropes between them. So my thought is that once, like when we do the work, we'll put those out, sort of delineating a few of the spots. And then we might even temporarily paint some lines on the gravel to get people used to the traffic pattern. Of course, those tools aren't useful in the winter. But it would at least get people sort of trained to a new parking layout.
And see how people respond to.
Right.
the other stuff.
Right, there's an element of people are gonna do what people do. And with gravel, there's just no way to have painted parking spots that last long term.
Right.
Some color gravel.
Included.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, Christy, do you have any questions at all?
No, I think Jamie has explained it And I think the select board has previously said we're generally in support, store needs more parking. And the road crew is okay with the changes?
Yeah, and these were fine. It was the concern was the other idea about going up that.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll just put out there is we have not yet received the quote for the bigger project, the sort of turning lawn into parking spaces. And I don't, the grass area, yeah. So I don't have any idea what it's gonna be. But my guess, we have a board meeting the first Tuesday of the month, so coming up soon. My hunch is if it's way more expensive than we think, the 4 new parking spots and the retaining wall might get pushed till next year,
Mhm.
but that we probably do the removal of the center island anyway. Which sort of in my mind, the curb cut application is really for the removal of the center
Yes,
part, and the other parking is added bonus we'll get to when we can afford it.
okay,
We're hoping to do it this fall, but we haven't fully committed to it.
okay. Okay, good. Anything further? Based on that?
Not for me, and yeah, I mean, if the timing works out, I'm certainly willing to, get together on a quick emergency meeting.
Yeah,
If
it
that's
would just
what you
be a
think.
special meeting that needed warning, so we just have 2 days. To the extent you can figure that into
Yeah,
your
I mean-
planning.
I'm hoping we'll get well, the plan is to get the quote by the end of the month. And then make a final decision
The next Tuesday.
the first Tuesday in September. So as soon as we see the quote and have a good idea, we'll let you know if it, and we'll learn Hans's timeline.
Right.
If the works, if he's like, yeah, if we're gonna do it this year, we have to do it
Yeah,
the first week of September or something, then we'll let you know that.
well, I think you can, share with the board that there's general approval of this
Yeah.
and that it wouldn't be a concern, but okay, so we're gonna table that for now. And move on. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. Thank you, gentlemen. Anything, so now we're gonna move to the Northeast Kingdom broadband use of right-of-way applications. I understand, is it Jeff that's here?
Jeff with a G. Jeff
Yes, there's
Leitcher.
2 Jeffs here tonight.
Or
Yeah, double Jeff.
Jeff, is it Dodd?
Dodge.
Yep, is the installer who John Stafford and I spent a good chunk of last Wednesday morning with, driving around. It was quite an education, actually.
I'm sure.
And reviewed the sites that resulted in the updated application that you have before you. So,
Right.
and just as a reminder, most of these projects were approved by the select board back in 22, I believe.
Yes,
And then that permit expired, and so they're here to apply again, and there's been changes from the original.
great. One thing I'll just say is, I'm sorry that you're seeing a still image. We are having a little technical difficulty, so hopefully you can hear us fine, but the video's not currently working.
Yes, we can hear. I can hear fine.
Thank you. Okay, so and thank you also for the modifications made based on the conversations with our team. I think that's that's great.
Looks like it started looking.
Okay, great.
Yes, well, hi. Hi, Al.
You on front.
I just had to speak nicely about it. Okay, so, I think Christy and Jamie, do we have any questions? I think, Kari's memo shared, the background on what changes were made, which seem prudent. Otherwise, we're looking, and I don't know, Jeff and Jeff, if you have anything you want to add currently to what we're discussing.
I don't have anything to add as far as the details of this. Just as far as the logistics, I did have our accounts payable team send a check for the permitting fees for each of these to you. I'm not sure if you've received it yet, but it is, if you haven't yet, it is in the process and you should be receiving it soon. But other than that, everything from my end is up to date on this.
Okay, great. Good. I really appreciate the having included the previous minutes. That was helpful. So thank you for that.
Great, yeah.
Any questions, Chrissy or Jamie on this? Have you had a chance to look at it? It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Well, but I did see that changes were made
Yeah.
based on this consultation.
Significant changes were made to the
Yes.
biggest project, is the Moscow Woods Jack Hill, so.
And we appreciate that because,
Yeah.
it sounded like that was a good back and
There was
forth.
a real meeting.
Yeah, of
on-
course. Thank you for meeting with us out there and making this work for both of us. That was an excellent meeting. So thank you for
Awesome.
Yeah.
that.
Agreed. I think the changes were definitely for the better. It'll be a lighter touch when we go through there, so that's a good thing.
Nice, like that, yeah. Anything else?
No, Bill Cyber.
Yeah, go fiber. No. A pro
Awesome.
fiber group here.
Great.
Is that what you had showed me before? Is that Moscow Woods? Is that still gonna happen?
Still gonna happen, yeah, they're gonna utilize the poles that exist. Moscow, and Ledge Hill, I mentioned Ledge.
So let's.
Ledge, I didn't say Jack Hill. It's Ledge,
So ledge, instead of digging, they're gonna use the telephone poles that are there.
yeah,
Yes,
And then on Moscow, will they be going down or will they be using the poles?
it's a combination, they're using the poles that exist, but there aren't poles, there are gaps in the poles on both ends.
Because
Both to
we're,
the north of you, or to the east of you and to the west.
because we're gonna be putting in more electrical line there, so I don't know about the timing if that works or not.
Yeah.
Just try to
Yeah, I don't think we discussed that, Jeff.
throw that in there.
Just so happens, we have some folks that are, building off of Moscow Woods and Ledge Hill. And they're gonna be, installing a couple poles on
Yes.
Moscow.
There's 2 to 3 poles depending on from the Wachowski's property up to ours. And then up our driveway and then across Ledge Hill to there. And then potentially from ours over to Fortin's down, so there's going to be potential poles coming around.
And do you know the timing of that project?
We're supposed to be meeting with the electrical, Mike's supposed to come, I think, in a week or two, he needed to look at the driveway, the roughed-in driveway we have, to tell us
Yeah.
what trees need to come down for us to come up. But he wants to do it all, because I said just do the road, because we've given, hey, we'll pay for the road part. And then next year do the driveway, but he wants to do it all as one project, so we have to kind of wait for that.
So you might consider instructing them to hold off on that one till last, until we can see how this develops and how we might be able to utilize new poles.
Right, but what's your proposed timeframe
Yeah.
for these
Mm.
projects?
Jeff, I don't know if you have a more specific time frame than I do, but my answer would be, we're looking at doing this, sometime before the end of the construction season, and I don't know exactly when that is for you guys. Of course, you guys control that end time. And Jeff, if you have anything to add to this as far as the specifics, I think that we don't have anything on the calendar right now. We're looking to get this permit cleared and work it into where it does fit in.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, we didn't want to put the cart before the horse kind of situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, once everything's approved, and the fact that there's new poles going in, that they might be a player. The other poles are older. They're comms poles. So I would think any electrical pole is going to be an upgrade from that. So we'll probably maybe want to try to jump on those poles and get permission. So that might be something we want to wait on. Just
There'll
my
be
opinion.
There'll be no poles on Ledge.
No, okay, yeah, just Moscow wood. Yeah.
Just Moscow, yeah, they're gonna go up Moscow, up our driveway and across
Mm-hmm.
Ledge, but we're not putting any poles on Ledge.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, ledge is all set for us to jump on
Yeah,
those
that's
poles and
all
go
above
over it.
ground or aerial
Yeah,
anyway. Yeah.
yeah.
And then am I remembering right that you go down sort of the center of a travel lane is where it's buried as opposed to the ditch?
So what I took out of that meeting, the ride out meeting, was that we on Moscow Woods for the underground, we were going to stay on the west side of Moscow Woods Road, and I think all the way up, all the underground is on the west side of that road, right?
Correct.
And is that in the travel route or is that in the ditch?
No, we'll be
Okay,
off the edge of the travel zone. Yeah,
on the west side. Yeah.
correct.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think mostly. But it's not interfering or needing to redo with like all the extensive ditch
No.
work.
Yeah, that yeah, we're just above the riprap because that was part of the issue was we don't want to mess
Yeah.
with that because who knows how deep it is. I know it's
Right.
very deep.
That was my
Um,
question.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah, we're above that. We're above that trouble zone. So yeah.
Yeah. Good.
They are in different places, in
Yeah.
crossing culverts,
Yeah.
we talked about that, Jeff, tries to actually go around them where possible. Because that's
Yep.
obviously it's gonna need to be dug eventually.
Right. And was also sort of wondering about duration or logistics of road closures. Like if the way the work's happening, it would stay open one lane, or
Yep.
if we're looking at like 3 or 4 days of the road closed.
No, we would get a flagging company and just close one lane down and have flaggers on each end.
Cool.
Can you guys just, I don't know if this is a brief, I want it to be brief, so you can tell me
Mhm.
that's involved, but. Do you have examples or evidence that like this kind, the way you're burying this is working fine with the maintenance of dirt roads, the way we have to do them here and. Given the dirt road structure that we have and that edge of those ditches with the riprap, have you had positive experience so far with that installation and also duration?
Yeah,
And those sort-
as far as I know, any underground that we've done, we've it's definitely been positive. Um, we're doing it a bit different than how it was done in the past, to where a lot of it was direct bury. It was very shallow. We're trying to come in here and maintain a minimum of 3 to 4 foot, and compact everything when we leave. So that way it's, because we don't want to damage any more than anyone else wants to damage, and we don't want to impede on the road. And especially when I was working there with NRTC, I saw the floods happen and I saw the problems that happened, especially on Moscow. So yeah, that's the last thing we want to do is be the problem child in the area. But everything we're doing is fairly new as far as depth and where we're putting it. So to be honest, I haven't heard anything bad yet. So
But I would also
Okay.
like to add that we've had this exact situation in a couple other towns where you do have that road, you have steep areas that are prone to flooding and have been washed out in the past, and have that riprap down the side. And you guys are requesting that we do exactly the same thing that they've asked us to do. So
yeah.
the decision tree is, I think, right on with the experience of other towns and what they've seen and what they're asking us to do.
Great, okay, really helpful, thank you. That's great. All right, so any other questions before we move forward? Okay, I know we have, Jordan's, has said that he's in support of us, so, okay, so, I need a motion to approve, the applications to bury fiber optic conduit in town right of way in 5 locations, as well as the adjusted, pole locations that are, articulated in the application.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? I'll say aye, aye, great, all right, thank
Can
you
I
so
ask one
much.
more? Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
So as far as getting a signed approval of this, how does that process work on your end as far as signing off on this, getting us a copy of it so we can send it to our crews, that knowing that this is something that we can move forward on?
I can help you with that. We'll gather signatures tonight and I'll get them out tomorrow.
Okay. So we don't have to wait for the next select board meeting to get that. We can get that in the interim in between the two.
Yep.
Yes, you'll
Okay.
have it. Yes, yeah. Yeah, we have a
Great.
quorum for this. We just didn't have it for the other action. We're all
Okay.
set.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate
All
you
right,
getting this on the agenda, and thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you for the extra time to work this out. It's really
course.
helpful.
All right.
Yep. Have a great evening.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right,
you very
you
much.
too.
All right.
Bye.
Tom. Great. Okay, great. So now we are at the school district update. We're just gonna start that a little bit early for everyone. You're here. Awesome, thank you.
It's me, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great,
Am I
well-
here to sit here or?
if you'd like, or you can come closer if you'd like, whichever,
Sure,
whatever
just
feels
sit here.
comfortable.
Yeah, so I'm Elizabeth Brown. I'm one of the school board members. Daniel and Michelle are the other two board members. And I've never given an update, so I'm curious as to what y'all would like to hear about, just kind of what's going on with the school board or the start of the school year or all of the above. What are you thinking?
It's really all the above. We do sort of a regular check, and this is part of a regular process that we do with the school district to understand what the issues that are before the board and anything coming down the pike that we might need to be aware of. The opportunity for questions from the select board members.
Right, well, normally I can't make Monday nights because I teach college courses on Mondays, so I'm excited to be here.
Well,
So
thank
it's
you.
nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
So I think there's quite a few things on the school board's mind and on our docket for discussion and conversation. We are in the process of searching for a superintendent, and that search has kind of concluded with our two candidates withdrawing from the pool. And so the next step is that our steering committee will be meeting with our interim superintendents, Jen Miller-Arsenal and Alicia at EMES, Alicia Lightfoot at EMES, to determine next steps. Typically what happens in a school district when they don't have a superintendent moving into the school year, they bring in an interim person, and often those are retired superintendents that have worked for many years. And so two names came forward for that possibility. And I believe that the steering committee would be meeting soon to discuss that. And then share their recommendation with the board. So there isn't an end in sight, in that we're not really sure what's going to happen next, but the next step is it's moved from the superintendent screening committee to the steering committee of the board to move forward with it.
Okay, yeah, the screening committee is now out of a job. Is that?
No, yes, the screening committee is,
Right.
we haven't decided exactly when, but it will be sundowned. And then once we begin the process to search for a superintendent that is not interim, we would re-invite folks to apply
Okay.
for
Yeah.
that screening committee. Yeah,
Was there any reason for the withdrawal that is shareable?
nothing that's shareable. Both candidates did withdrawal at different times in the process. So,
Okay.
yeah, so unfortunately, it didn't end up the way that we had hoped it would.
Right.
But I think there's always reasons for everything.
Yeah.
And I have confidence in our steering committee, that they will have some really good conversations. And I really think the biggest piece is thinking about what are the needs of our district this year. Because the state has essentially put a moratorium on superintendents staying longer than a year. So regardless of who we hired, it would be for a year.
Wow.
And then we would, because of everything that's happening with the merging and the CISAs and all that stuff. So in some ways it would have been an interim anyways, but we were really trying to look at it as somebody that would come in for a year and do kind of a year-to-year renewable contract. So now we're pivoting a little bit to interim, and then hopefully we'll begin the search shortly after that's all settled. And And hopefully we'll have more time to do the search this time around. There's a lot of meetings during summer. We had the vote, as you guys are aware of, the amendment vote, that did pass. And yeah, that was the vote. There's no real update from that other than how the vote ended. And then school is starting on the 26th for everybody, which is really exciting. And staff came back, all the staff came back today, including support staff, et cetera. And they had their kind of come all together today. I wasn't able to go because I have my kiddos at home with me. But yeah, so they'll start on the 26th and everybody's doing really well. I think all the schools are excited to get started. They've got resources in place. We've got a new principal at Calais, who's wonderful. Her name is Katie Truesdale. And if you have the opportunity to meet her, I encourage you to reach out. She's also a new Calais resident. She just moved here, so that's exciting. And then our former principal, Jared Weiss, has moved to the middle school. So he'll be the middle school principal there. And then we also have an interim high school principal. So lots of new faces and lots of really good new energy, which is exciting. You know, and with that comes lots of questions, wonders, worries. But I've had the opportunity to connect with some of the leaders in the school, and I feel really good about, you know, their excitement and their passion and their experience. So we're in a good place. Yeah. Any questions for me?
Have you all met since the amendment vote?
We have, yes, we've had one board meeting since the amendment vote. There really has not been a lot of discussion around it other than it had passed.
Okay.
I suspect that more discussion will occur as budget season arrives. That is one thing that we're kind of bracing ourselves for is budget season, because all arrows point to really looking at a very challenging budget season this year for us as a district. And so really making sure that I know many board members are really thinking about, you know, what are the out of the box things that we can do to preserve programming and preserve student outcome. But it is something that I know not just the board, the administration has on their mind all the time. So I think it's going to be a very robust budget season. And I encourage Calais residents to come out and share their thoughts and their ideas because it's really, really important. And yeah, so.
Wonderful. Any questions?
I actually don't know the final numbers for the Calais Elementary School, what the number of students is or the.
That's a great question, and I can get back to you on exact. I know that there's been some new students that have come in and some that have left recently, have moved or relocated. But I won't say that the numbers are fairly stable, if not slightly higher than they were last year. That tends to be Calais' trend, to be honest with you. I've been here now for 6 years and I really haven't seen a significant drop in enrollment in Calais specifically. So I would guess.
In total,
In total.
it's when you look at class to class, yeah.
Yes, right.
We are doing the pre-K to.
Yeah, so pre-K and K are currently at EMES this year. And so Calais Elementary's has in first grade through sixth grade. And so they have let me see if I can get this right. They have a 1, 2, a third grade. Well, 1, 2, and 3 are kind of the lower school. And then 4, 5, 6 are the upper school, and they're kind of doing a co-teaching model this year. So the classes are all kind of, they're not blended, they're not all blended classes, but they're definitely shared classes where certain teachers are teaching certain subjects and kind of supporting that way. So it'll be an interesting year. I have twins who are in third grade, and they're very excited about their fourth, fifth year at Calais because they went to pre-K there as well. So yeah, so I would say probably without pre-K and without kindergarten, we're probably about 80, but I can get the number. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, I'm so glad it worked out that you could be here
Yeah,
tonight.
me
Appreciate
too. I was
it.
like,
Yeah.
I can actually make this meeting, so. Yeah, but I
Oh, sorry, Brett. I just wanted to share, and thank you for your service. You're a really difficult job.
Yes.
And it's
Here,
it's gonna remain
here,
difficult for a while.
Yes.
But not to add to it, but just for your information, as a person who helps collect the taxes, the
Yeah,
level of concern this year about property tax rates
yes,
is much higher than it has been in the past. It's
Yeah.
been pretty high in the past.
yeah,
But I'm really hearing a lot of people say that they're feeling pushed to their limits.
yeah,
And that's a theme that's coming through. And so just important for you to know, because I always tell them 70% of the tax bill is on the education side.
yeah, it's really tricky. I think it's a funky tax formula, in my opinion. I come from Southern California, so it's a very different system altogether, but yeah, no, I can share that the board, we all think about those numbers
You're good.
very carefully.
Yeah.
And we also have the spending threshold that is set by the state. And that's gonna go down over time, and so it's gonna be, like I said, it's going to be a robust budget season,
Yeah.
but yes, I wholeheartedly hear you, and I think it's something that's on our minds all the time. And I think we're also, at least I'm feeling as a board member, I've only been on the board, this will be my second year, so I'll be on the board for a total of 2.5 years, because I came in to cover somebody's. But we're starting to see more and more how important it is to speak up at the legislative level, as opposed to just local, because there's so much that's happening and people are being affected by the decisions that we're making, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Well, Kari, thank you for speaking up, because I completely concur. You know, thank you to you and the others for serving. It's a lot of work and a lot of emotional engagement over the last bit here. So we're glad to be moving on from that, but I'm sure there's more to come in terms of just challenging issues that we're facing as a community as a whole.
For sure.
So thank
And
you.
what I say to people all the time is, please reach out to me, please reach out to our board chair.
Right.
We want to hear from our constituents, we want to hear people's concerns. It is a big job, it is a lot of work, there is an emotional investment in it. But a big piece of it for me is making sure that I can hear directly from my constituents, because I have my own ideas, but they have, sometimes they're different than mine, and so I want to make sure that I'm giving the voice of our community.
Great.
So that's important,
Yeah.
right? Thank you guys so
So
much.
thank you. Thanks.
I'm heading home for dinner.
Okay, enjoy that.
Take care.
Thanks a lot. I don't know if you signed in, Elizabeth, and initiate. Okay,
I did.
perfect. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you, yes, pretty good.
Okay, well, we are a little ahead of schedule, but I don't see any public comment. So, oh, Michael Miller. Is Michael Miller wanting to make a public comment? Hearing none. Good. Does anyone else in the room want to make a public comment as a public person?
I'm just gonna circulate this draft as the updated bus letter.
Thank you, Lauren.
Change it.
Okay, so I guess what I would just say, well, we're gonna move on to reports and, I am prepared to do the Friends of Calais Town Hall report. If we do end up, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I was seeing somebody pull in. So on this, the Friends of Calais, we hadn't had a meeting for some, for a month or so. But we had a great meeting last week. At which, Jim Ventresca was voted in as a new board member, as was, Ryan, whose last name I know, Ryan Edwards, Ryan Edwards, who is an architect that's worked on a couple of important projects here in Calais and elsewise. Is an architect who's also donated significant time and expertise. So we're really happy to have him on, and he's also on the historical what is it called? Committee.
Calais Historical Society.
Calais Historical, no, it's the
Commission.
Historical
Oh.
Commission, thank you. So that is terrific. So I'm really pleased. We've got, essentially 3 new board members since, in the last 6 months. So I'm really happy about that. Nancy's, play was in June. Great, full houses, success by most measures. 6 performances, they didn't, feel that there were any issues. And had things back in good order after the, play. So, and she was proactive about, reaching out to committees who had meetings here during rehearsals and was encouraging, Chris to do the same. The piano's been tuned, and deemed a real good piano. Uh, let's see, one of the reasons that we were excited about having Ryan Edwards join the board was to get a better handle on the long-term plan for the cultural center and use of the building and what would need to be done, because any sort of the conversation around what kind of fundraising should they be doing, what kind of effort should be made for the building, centers on sort of what's the end goal. So that's part of the thinking of bringing Ryan on to help think that through, and be both realistic but also aspirational at the same time of what should this building look like to be a cultural center that they've tried to identify and be able to set some sort of phases in motion of what that would be. Which is why they decided not to do to try to kind of insulation in the interim. Upcoming events, there's a concert, Steve Owens, there's a wedding, reception here, Artie and Nancy's daughter. And, Chris's play is gonna be in the October timeframe, and then there'll be a closure for the season. There's, they've brought the legal, requirements up to speed in terms of the IRS nonprofit registration, or, form for, the website domain, as well as the Secretary of State's, registration. So things are a little more tidy and higher performing, I would say. There's a regular meeting. We did miss, July, but it was basically, everyone was on holiday. And I think just generally a very positive, forward motion for the group. I haven't heard any feedback about, scheduling and how that's going. And Keegan's not here, but, Meadow, I don't know if you have any experience with folks calling for use of the town hall. And has it been going okay in terms of coordination?
Yeah, anybody who's come across either my email or phone, I have directed them to the form to fill out on the website. With regard to the people who already have calendar items, who are just like editing those calendar items. So it's pretty easy to edit the calendar now.
Yeah.
The way we have it, so
Right.
it feels pretty smooth on my side.
That all sounds very positive, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's in good shape.
And they was at the play, and I thought they did a really good job sort of with some of the wire cleanup and
So if you haven't been upstairs,
Like,
yeah,
looks,
yes,
it looks really good.
yes. I skipped right over that there was a concerted effort before. Was it before Scott's? Well, before there was a memorial, but then, and then another push, to really tidy things up and paint and,
Yeah.
and so forth, and, install the curtains for some, better, experience for the, attendees and so forth. So I think,
Pass along our appreciation.
thank you, I absolutely,
Really,
yeah.
really
Yeah.
did a nice
No,
job.
and Nancy in particular did a lot of work, and they also just coordinated Artie with like they just did a great job coordinating, up there as well, so. It's good, so,
Great.
yes,
Okay.
great. So town clerk, we don't have Keegan here.
Away from the anything.
Are you aware of any issues that?
Not that I know of. We just got through the election. I think that we had talked about that last time a little bit. Yeah, I'm mostly in the office have been focused on, tax stuff, assistant treasurer stuff. It's been really slow in the vital records department. But I think that after the wave of tax processing starts to calm down a little bit, we're looking ahead toward a scanner, that project's on the horizon sometime. But yeah, everything else, it was pretty status quo. There's really much to report there.
Okay, thank you. Chugging along, all right, town administrator update or report.
Right. So the main thing I wanted to talk about, the weightiest thing I think is the possible assigning some of the general fund balance towards the FEMA fund. So we expect to have a deficit because the reimbursement is 90% FEMA, 7.5% state, or at least that's the plan. So the lead auditor asked the question, would you like to set, well, you have some general fund balance, would you like to set some aside? You'd be restricting it, right? You could change that, the select board, but it'd be a step towards preparing for the eventuality of having to transfer funds to zero out the FEMA fund, actually. And I'm hoping that that'll be in the next year. FEMA has now assigned the last project, construction project. So their final project, what they call a project is, just the reimbursement categories is management costs. That's the last thing to go, so they'll pay us for Toby's time and the time that I spent and the like. And we expect that will happen within the next few months because there's nothing else to do. And then I really don't have much of an idea about how long the state will take for their reimbursement, but they go last. So I'm hoping we'll have everything within a year and then be making a decision about zeroing out the full amount. And currently we estimate it to be around $90,000. So something between 0 and 90. If you made the decision, I think you could verbalize it tonight, and then we could do a formal transfer at the next meeting and have it warned. But this would allow Rick to start preparing the financial statements for the final audit.
Okay.
So he requested that within a week or 10 days.
In order, because you want it so that the
Reflect
audit
it.
report will take care of
Yeah.
into account.
Yep. And it's not affecting our cash. It's
Right.
just moving money from
Just
one place to another.
It's just,
Yeah.
say that.
But
It's an
our,
important accounting issue.
it is important, yeah. So, what it means is that the general fund balance that we have been looking at is not as quite as robust as, but it's still well above the target that we set.
Above the target.
Right.
I think it makes sense to do it in stages rather than that.
Yeah.
As you said, rather
Right.
than like a year from now.
Right.
Oh,
90.
right, yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's wise to get ahead of it.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't have any questions about it.
That
Yeah,
makes sense. So do we need to stay in
if
amount?
you want to specify an amount, and then we can do a formal warned, action.
45 or 50?
Right, half.
half, or what do you, half and half?
That would be my recommendation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the
45?
recommendation, yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
So we'll get that prepared, and then the only other things I wanted to say were just scheduling items, so. The housing group is going to meet for the first time on September 8th at 5:30. So if one or two of you would like to attend, I'll be there, but just wanted to offer that up as a getting that conversation going.
Okay.
And then town fairs on October 7th, both Meadow and I are planning on going if you're interested. And then the leadership, the Vermont Community Leadership Summit looks particularly good this year. And Tegan's going with somebody. Oh, with you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're going.
Yeah, I thought it was. There's two in particular workshops that I thought were pertinent. One was about rural housing
Yeah.
development.
Yeah.
And one was about repurposing former school buildings.
Oh,
And I thought it would be good to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those two workshops are at the same time.
Yeah.
So I
You'll-
can't go to both of
You'll
them.
have to divide.
But I'm sort of hoping Tegan will go to one and I'll go to the other.
Yeah. So again, if you'd like to be registered, just let us know. Those deadlines are coming up.
Is the housing group meeting here
It's gonna be at the office.
at the office? Okay.
And you said that's the 8th,
yeah, I'll be out of town.
Yes. 5:30.
5:30. Wait, we should,
We should make sure we're not all showing up.
right,
Right.
Right, and I will not be able to attend.
I mean, I'm interested, but not committed. If other people want to attend.
The 8th is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I will let you know as
If
anybody else tells me that they wanna come, but. Sounds like it's widely available, and then obviously there'll be more meetings.
Yes. Okay. All right, moving right along, the FY 28 budget work. Sorry, thank you for
Yes.
continuing to move us on this path.
Yeah.
Um,
Tonight, we're looking at two things. One is an updated capital budget. Which frankly, we've got so much in the pipeline currently, not really contemplating a lot of additional. But there is some, the new items for fiscal 28 that we put in here are. A $25,000 allocation for the Moscow Woods Bridge. Which we should give you more, but it seems like a starting point, and then. This wasn't originally in there, but the county road repaving. It's probably about a $50,000 item, and. When I had it just in fiscal 29 at 50. The total just jumped up. It wasn't a very smooth transition. So that was the reason for moving a portion of it in there. None of this has to be set tonight.
Right.
That makes sense. I split the 50 into 225, so that fiscal 8 bore some of it.
right,
That sort of presupposes a reserve fund to park it in. Which I hate to recommend any more reserve funds,
but you're.
but I got a great idea for a reserve fund.
Yeah.
Which is a highway infrastructure, which would capture bridges, culverts,
Right.
and repaving.
And you put the Moscow Woods in that same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a dedicated fund for Moscow Woods Bridge.
Is highway capital fund specifically
For equipment. For equipment.
I was just wondering.
The
there could
existing
be
highway
like-
capital.
you-
Right,
You-
if there
you
could be like a
could-
sub.
You could propose repurposing that fund to include infrastructure. That's another
I
option.
don't know if there's a.
Would that?
But
be
the
hard to
mission
do?
of that fund has been approved by voters.
Right,
So even you can't change that. That's up to them.
do you know what there, I mean, is there a norm that we're
I don't
pushing
know.
against at this point in terms of,
My sense is that we're on the high end.
Yeah.
on the high end in terms of having the number of funds?
This number of different reserve funds.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's my sense, but that's just a gut reaction.
And I think for the average resident, it's like, what is all this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
A bit much. We could look at consolidation maybe of some of them. Like the town office and the town hall, do those need to be separate?
Yeah.
My mind.
Or the garage one now too. Anyway, that's probably a different conversation. Getting back to the budget, it presupposes we have a place to park both of those allocations if we were to do that.
Mhm.
The Moscow Woods Bridge and when we did it.
And reserve funds have to be created by voters, right?
Yeah.
So it would be a warrant item to create it and then a separate warrant item to add to it
Yes,
At a town,
at town meeting.
right.
yeah,
Is it fair to ask at some point, Kari, if there's or for you to consider and or investigate whether other towns do this of having like the infrastructure projects as well as equipment in one fund?
yeah. Why don't I do a little research on?
Just to see, I mean, I can see why it might make sense to keep the equipment separate, just because,
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I can see why it would make sense to
Yeah.
actually keep
No,
them
I
separate,
I
but,
agree.
Right. You wouldn't want to deplete your
yeah,
greater fund.
We should take a holistic look, I would say,
Yeah.
at all of our funds.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think I very much appreciate what you're doing here with, these suggestions, but are we in a situation where we can do that as a
Where we can afford.
where we can afford to do this? For
Well,
Moscow Woods and.
That's the point of this exercise.
Yes,
Okay.
I don't see how we can afford not to start socking away from Moscow Woods.
Right.
yes,
County Road is more of a question,
Mhm.
but even Moscow Woods, like how much is the right amount?
right,
Yeah,
This is,
that's gonna be. a
Right.
lot
it's a big
when
chunk
it's a
for us.
$2 million project,
It's a
yeah,
barely a start.
Yeah.
We're saving for the match is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
right,
Right.
right. Okay. Was there something else?
Oh, the other new item in here is the loader. And so, I mean, this is just the first sort of step in actual
Yeah.
numbers on the budgeting and I can plug in these things into the annual budget and see what things look like, but the loader is an example of something that could be put off, but let me bring you the numbers on what we spent on maintenance to that loader in the past few years. I know last year was very high. So at some point,
So
we've all had Subarus, right? At some point, it's worth getting a new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or switching away. So, in terms of the loader, though, the new cost, is that, is that the actual new cost?
So the loader is another example. I split that first payment into 2 years. So what this contemplates actually is purchase, making the first full payment in FY 29.
Yeah,
But that is based on, forget where that number came from. We haven't gotten a quote, but I think I think we have gotten a quote. It's been a little while. I need to
Yeah.
verify
I
that.
just wonder, how much more that might, it just seems like equipment costs are gonna be
Yeah,
continuing to go.
yeah, so
through.
let me verify that, but just to give you a sense where this is heading.
Yep. Thank you.
2010, so that's the second oldest in our fleet. The old grader is,
Oh my God,
97.
that old grader is an EMT.
imagine how
Seven.
many roads it Rowell's graded with that.
Yeah. How many miles?
Amazing, okay.
So I guess, questions, do you think there's anything's missing or to be adjusted before using this as a starting point for the annual budget? We'll be revisiting those numbers.
Mhm.
Well, sorry.
Just quick, what, the Curtis Pond is the bond payment?
Yeah. So that we're locked in on.
And the culverts don't have any numbers against them. Don't have any planning
Right,
against
I
them.
could pull those out, yeah, that's sort of like this has been evolving, but that's sort of, eventually we'll have a master inventory of all the pieces of capital.
Yeah.
That we need to plan for, and if they're not in this plan, they live somewhere else, but eventually we want everything to be in a plan.
Right.
Yes, yeah, no, I appreciate them being there, but we're continuing to acknowledge that we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the reserve fund that's listed there on line, oh, is the garage, excuse me, I've got myself.
5,000 a year for that garage.
Yeah, again, that's just sort of,
I know. Gotta do something now.
Was there anything from the East Montpelier Fire Department meeting that
Right,
translated into this?
I was just gonna say that, it's that they talked about a new truck in the next couple of years, and so it looks like the old truck is only 3 years left. So we might assume that that'll essentially be,
I want them to tell me, and, that's, we keep going around in circles, and that,
Right.
Been part of that conversation where the capital budget needs to show us how they're actually gonna pay for those things. Like, there's this severe deficit that they show on their budget, and that's not what we're gonna do, that is just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So what is the plan? And I've tried to say it in many different ways. If you think as the fire department, you're gonna come to the towns and ask us to help pay for capital items, we need to know as soon as possible, like years in advance.
right,
And, but the other thing is they have this source of revenue that is, from insurance monies that's significant. It's over 200,000 a year and then growing.
Mhm.
And that, is there for them to purchase equipment. And it's a steady stream as long as we can run our EMS service. So that needs to be, reflected in the plan in a way that we.
And it
Like
just doesn't, it doesn't seem I think you've said it 3 different ways and it's not
Yeah,
coming through.
the last meeting, Troy Seckington sort of committed to working with me or whatever. And I think you heard what I was saying. I followed up with it as well.
Okay,
So here's what we're looking for.
okay,
Yeah, but anyway, good point. If
Because
we need
they
to
were-
plug in a fire truck or something,
right, they were saying that
they were, yeah,
they're starting to look and,
yeah,
that like our plow trucks, they're often 2 or 3 years out.
yes. And can they fund that out of their cash flow?
Right.
Not paying for it in one fell swoop, but financing over
Yeah.
time, presumably. Yeah, so
yeah,
until
it's just not,
I don't know what to put in here until I get it perfect.
yeah,
So,
but the financing piece just isn't in the lexicon of their presentation.
that's the puzzling thing. It's like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
extend it out.
Um,
I'm gonna plunk down $500,000 or $750,000.
right, there's no reason to, even if you can.
So, yeah. So it sounds like. we've
Well,
been-
that's one to watch, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Um, The other item for tonight was the messaging.
Right,
And if you folks got a chance to look at that, but it's
Yeah.
a draft and presumably would be a new page on our website or incorporated into. And we don't really have a budget page, so this would be something new that we could direct people to. But also the kind of language we want to use for front porch forum posts and otherwise. to help people understand how the budgeting process works. There is a process and how they can engage with it if they want to. I think those are the goals.
One of the things that jumped out at me is just the first paragraph, last sentence, where it says, and voters at town meeting approve the budget for the following fiscal year. I just think we shouldn't presume they're going to approve it
Okay,
in that language.
consider,
And
Yeah.
vote on,
And voters
voters are
are
asked.
at town meeting to approve, Yeah.
Or, and presents it to the voters.
Right.
Right.
Their approval.
for consideration, or whatever, something
Yeah.
to,
present some deference.
it's just, yeah, it is their job. What part of the share library? So, I was wondering about the distinction you make about community partners, other community partners, and then you talk about the local nonprofit organizations are invited to submit requests.
That's the
Those are
social
separate,
service appropriations.
right, so can we use the language that appears in the? So I'm not sure who the other community partners are, but I think then the next sentence is referring to the social service organization, line item,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
So I just want,
Just mimic the language in the application of it.
just, yeah, so that it's clear that it's the same thing. I guess, yeah, to be approved by others, yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, yeah. Do you mention that there's a committee that looks at those requests also?
Well,
Do we want
it's listed down in the, against 12/14/26. It says, in the calendar, sorry.
Social Services Appropriations Committee.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying, like, we wanna use the same language so that.
Okay,
So social services. So for social services organizations. May submit requests. Which are reviewed by a committee,
okay.
right? That's.
So you want, yeah, put the
We want
language
to
up top, yeah,
explain
that makes sense,
folks
yep,
That's part of the process.
Yep.
And I think people want that and appreciate it, but.
yeah, they asked for it back, yeah. Well, this is what the community, a few community members had asked for, so we'll see how.
Yeah.
How people decide to participate.
I think we would want something like this on the website anyway.
Yeah.
That
Good,
any
yes.
future resident could go and find it.
Yes.
Get a sense.
And this timeline is really helpful.
Good.
Like the optimism of the December 28th budget approval.
It's happened before.
Yes, yes.
I'm not sure how.
Okay, anything else, Kari, do you need on? Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
so we're moving on to administrative, and possible action items, so, approval of the minutes of July 27th, August 6th, and August 13th select board meetings, Christie was not at August 13th, is that accurate?
I was here for July 27th and not the August 10th and 13th.
Okay.
I know.
So now, well, I'm just thinking about it in terms of,
Who was there?
great for you, I'm
Yeah.
happy for you. No, but, in terms of approval, we usually have the person who wasn't there recused, no? Or
I
do
don't
we
think there's
need
any-
not to worry about that? Okay,
See why.
I
refer
personally
to it.
feel fine. Did everyone read through the minutes?
Yeah, I did.
Do you have any questions or concerns or changes? That
And
you,
one tiny typo.
Okay,
Which minutes?
For July 27,
Okay.
on page 2, I'm talking about the planning commission. I think it's Vicky Arthur, right? I think her name is misspelled, last name.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
all right. If we're all set, then we'll need a motion to approve the minutes of July 27, August 10, and August 13.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Board orders, please, let's make sure we've looked through these, we've got. Let's see. Payroll tax, payroll warrant, AP warrant, and does anyone have any questions on that? And I believe Kari included the GL on this one, isn't it?
Oh, the journal entries,
Yeah.
that's coming up, that's in a couple items.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so any questions on the warrants as they were presented?
No,
Can we get a motion to approve the board and sign the board orders?
so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Great, thank you. And next up is approving an employee leave request.
Yeah, so I'm requesting we reconsider Tyler Stecker, who, had a little baby girl and his wife.
Congratulations.
Holly, met her the first time, adorable.
Nice.
Tyler's planning to take 3 weeks off, and he had requested to be able to, use some of his sick leave for paternity leave, and it's not explicitly allowed in the policies, it's not explicitly not allowed. It's not the common arrangement in my experience. I did ask Larry Moquin from the union about this, and he said, his response was, this doesn't come up.
Nobody has newborns.
But they're certainly, they would be happy to have Tyler be able to utilize some of his leave. And I think it would be a small financial, we'd be paying out the funds, the money anyway. It's because we're foregoing a little bit of productivity theoretically down the line. It's a small thing for the town, and I think it's a big thing, a bigger thing for them personally. So I think it'd be a nice thing for the town to do, to offer him to convert 2 or 3 weeks of his sick leave to paternity.
I think it's a nice gesture and not much downside. I don't think we're gonna run into this on a regular basis.
I also agree. Did he make the request?
He did,
Okay, and he wants to use the sick leave.
yeah.
Knowing that, like, if he got sick later, he might.
Yeah.
Not have enough.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay.
Seems pretty healthy, and
Yeah, yeah.
he's got a lot of sick leave.
Yeah.
And just for, like, we did chat about this earlier, this issue, and since it wasn't in the agreement, we were at first feeling that we should just let it lie and not approve it, but further consideration was merited in this case. We think, it's a really good idea, and it's prudent and well invest, strong investment for
I
our
think it's a good
community. Yeah. So, great, so can I have a motion for approval of the employee leave request as stated by Kari?
So moved.
Let's be clear about what we're doing.
Okay. We are permitting our employee who requested to be using sick leave as part of
I would specify an up to amount.
up
If
to
some reason it
Up to
extends.
3 weeks.
up to 3 weeks, up to 3 weeks, is approved for
For paternity.
For-
Yeah.
family leave, yeah.
Family.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
So, and a second, thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Great.
And
Great.
congratulations.
Yeah, okay, I'll pass that along.
thank you for the
Thank you.
clarification, Christie, appreciate it. And on to the journal entry. Has everyone had a chance to look through the riveting?
Auditor, I'm so excited that I told the auditor, we're doing it just like you said. And he goes, oh, is it leading to good discussions? This is a lifelong account, basically.
I don't feel like I have any questions, really. Do others?
We're moving money around, Ari, what's going on?
Yeah, I think this is the batch that included the interest allocations.
Yeah.
There were a lot of interest,
So
yeah,
at the end of the year, as inspected by the auditor, we apportion the interest that we earned from the bank in our checking account
To all these
To each fund.
separate,
based on the average size of the fund. So each, when you get that due to from report each month,
Yeah.
I log that. Then I average it over the course of the year and
Wow.
I take its percentage of the overall fund balance and give it that amount of interest.
so fun to see we have all this interest coming in, okay?
Yeah,
well,
it's gonna increase as a result.
yeah, now we've got some investment, yeah.
Well,
Well, that's great. Thank you for doing that. So,
you can report, we had a good discussion.
now you can report back that we had a discussion.
I will move
Yeah.
that we approve the journal entries for July.
Second,
All right, all in favor?
aye,
Wait a second.
Aye.
well, no,
Oh. Wait a second, what?
Now, I do approve, but they should be the July 2026 journal entry.
Oh, is it written this way? I've been doing that.
In the agenda?
Yeah.
Oh. My goodness, yeah, well, fiscal year, right? Okay,
We circle back to Adamant before we.
yes, please, thank you. I was just curious why this letter says I, like, who's signing it?
Oh,
I think it's written,
Do we-
as if we approve one person to sign it on our behalf.
Okay,
I should say we, right?
on behalf of the Calais Select Board, we are pleased, or it's saying on behalf of, so,
Right, it's
Either-
written as if we approve Kari or somebody to sign it on
right,
behalf of the select board.
Oh, I see.
That's just how it's written.
I am pleased.
Yeah.
so is that gonna be you then?
You want, whatever you think.
What are we? Or is everyone happy with the edits?
it's fine.
Yeah.
See,
Yes, it is fine. We're just not, we could submit it, we could,
You don't have to sign it.
Right, I mean,
We
I
just-
think we should authorize Kari to sign that letter on behalf of the select board and.
okay,
Okay,
so you are so authorized. We have
That is
to
a
make this,
motion.
oh, is that a motion?
I think there should be.
Okay,
I will second David's motion that we authorize Kari to sign the letter as edited.
great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
lovely,
And good luck to them.
Yeah.
curious. Okay. The next item is the East Montclair Fire Department, which, the primary business is, discussion of a contract, so we would, if there is to be discussion, then we would need to enter into executive session, which we do have updates to discuss, so. I would like to ask for a motion to enter into executive session under 1 VT state 313A1A to discuss a contract.
I would make that motion and invite Kari to join us.
Thank you. Can I have a second on that?
Second, I will second that.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Alright.
Aye.
And
Um,
we have people stay, are we likely to take an action afterwards?
well, we don't have to ask them to stay, we just.
Right, we
Yeah.
can, yeah.
there's likely, yeah, I think we would just report out any action, but